Hi everyone, welcome to MathSux. This video is going to help you pass the Algebra 2 Common Core Regents. So we're doing this one question at a time. Here is question 33. Sandra is cutting wire to construct a mobile. She cuts 100 inches for the first piece. So let's write out. Looks like this is going to be a pattern. So we have the first piece is 180 inches for the second piece and 64 inches for the third piece. Assuming the pattern continues, write an explicit equation for a sub n, the length in inches of the nth piece. We want to look for the pattern that's going on here, what's happening between each of these terms. So to do that, right away we could see we're not adding or subtracting the same number, because we go from 100 to 80, which is minus 20, and then 80 to 64, which is minus 16. So let's see now for a geometric series. So let's see how these terms are related to each other by dividing. So if we do 80 divided by 100, we see that we're multiplying times 0.8. So 100 times 0.8 gives you 80. And then let's see if that works for 80 to 64. So if we do 80 times 0.8, we're going to get 64. So that's what we're multiplying. That is the common ratio of this sequence. So now we need to make a formula. So we know we're going to be working with the geometric sequence. And the formula for the geometric sequence is a sub n equals a sub 1 times r to the n minus 1. So I have a whole video on the geometric sequence, recognizing them and how to fill in the formula if you want to check that out further with a bunch of practice questions. But here I'll just go over quickly how to answer this question. So we have a sub 1, which is the first term. That's always the first term in our sequence, which in this case is 100. So we have a sub n equals 100. And then r is the common ratio. It's always that number that you're multiplying times each term within the sequence. So in that case, we found that it was 0.8. So this is 0.8 raised to the n minus 1. So that's all we need to find for this first part here. So now the second part of the question, so there's more than one part to this. Sandra only has 40 feet of wire to use, so 40 feet. So remember, before we were dealing with inches, but now this is in feet, so it's a little tricky. So Sandra only has 40 feet of wire to use for the project and wants to cut 20 pieces total for the mobile. Wants to cut 20 pieces total for the mobile using her pattern. Will she have enough wire? Justify your answer. So if we want a total number and we don't know how much that is, we want to count the sum of all the pieces of each of this different part of the mobile, right? So if we're getting the sum of the pattern, we are getting the geometric series. So we're going to be using the geometric series formula. So let's just look at that real quick. So we have s sub n equals a times 1 minus r to the n all over 1 minus r, where a is the first term, r is the common ratio again. Okay, so we have all of that information, so let's fill this in. So if we know that a is 100 times 1 minus r, which we found is 0.8 in the last problem, and now we want 20 pieces total. So this is going to be raised to this 20th power all over 1 minus 0.8. So now if we use our calculator, we plug this in, we're going to get 494.23 inches. So even though this question is asking about feet, we're plugging in 100th for the first term, which is in inches. So we know that the answer to this question is going to be in inches. But before we just circle this value, 494.23 inches, as our answer, that's not really what they're asking for. What they're asking for is, will she have enough wire? So is 494.23 inches enough wire? Is that equal to 40 feet? So there's 12 inches in 1 foot. So if we do 12 times 40 feet, that'll give us how many inches she has now. So 12 times 40 is 480 inches. So Sandra has 480 inches of wire, but based on cutting 20 total pieces for this pattern that she wants to have, this particular pattern, it would use up 494.23 inches. But she doesn't have enough. She only has 480. So the answer to this is, will she have enough wire? No, she will not. Will not have enough wire. So you don't have to write all this out for your answer in the test. You would just have to say no and then have all your math here. But just to give you more understanding, I wrote this all out. No, she will not have enough wire because she only has 480 inches of wire, but she needs 494 inches, 0.23 inches of wire based on this pattern that she wants. So that's why she can't do it. And that's our answer. Need more practice? Check out MathSux.org for more questions. Link below. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Happy calculating!